What's up, YouTube? What's up? We gotta start off like this, man. Diddy kids, man. Hey, Diddy kids, we gotta start off like this. Hey. I thought I'd just send this one out to Diddy's kids. It's Uncle Mike, y'all. Yeah. They say the apple don't fall far from the tree. Then the sun's in the light where the cameras be. Puff built an empire off of hustle and fame. Then the boys in the court trying to clear their name. Media buzzing, got the headlines lit. Talking about charges, but the facts don't fit. A legacy's great, ain't easy to bend. When your father's a mogul, they all stop and stare. Now he's standing in the courtroom, pressure so wild. With the world on his shoulder, legacy on trial. He ain't asked for the fame or the flashing lens. Just trying to live life, not make amends. Now he's standing in the courtroom, pressure so wild. With the world on his shoulder, legacy on trial. He ain't asked for the fame or the flashing lens. Just trying to live life, not make amends. They see Diddy in his eyes, so the judgment's fast. But the son ain't the sin of his father's past. Every move they make, they dissect with spite. Forget he's still young, trying to find what's right. Whispers in the crowd, they talk like they know, but ain't been in the shoes or walked through the snow. Social media courtroom is useless feed. Facts take a back seat when clicks gonna lead. Now he's standing in the courtroom, pressure so wild. With the world on his shoulder, legacy on trial. He ain't asked for the fame or the flashing lens. Just trying to live life, not make amends. Now he's standing in the courtroom, pressure so wild. With the world on his shoulder, legacy on trial. He ain't asked for the fame or the flashing lens. Just trying to live life, not make amends. The truth's gonna rise and the lies don't win. But karma got a timing and it don't pretend. If you're guilty, let justice take control. If he innocent, let him walk out whole. So before you throw shade or feed that flame, remember every man got his own damn name. Not just the son of a star or a hip-hop king. He's a man with a voice, let the gavel ring. Let's rap. You know how people, they say, what, the Illuminati sign or whatever, double peace, peace for both sides, the good and the bad, the peace for both football teams, peace for double sides, for you and your enemy, whatever, double peace. Put them together, you see an arrow. That way we'll go up. That's why I do that. Yeah, that's Uncle Mike's sign. Let's do a sign. You know, you got gang signs and all that type of stuff. I'm trying to start a sign for something positive. Where's your positive sign at? You got all these gang signs and all these Crips and Bloods and all this stuff, Illuminati and all this negativity. Lord have mercy. One sign. I'm just asking for one sign. Double peace, baby. Double peace. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check this thing out. A Diddy daughters, Lord have mercy, who got kicked off a ride at some type of amusement park once upon a day, a couple of days, weeks ago or whatever. Diddy daughters cry for help, exposing Diddy's life in the prison. Oh my gracious. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Let's check this out, man.
Diddy's daughters are reportedly terrified and heartbroken as their father's life behind bars spirals into chaos.
He became very depressed and considered that maybe his life shouldn't even go on. And he has been, his lawyers say, on side watch.
Sound like every person in jail to me. Everybody think that. Come on, bruh. Damn.
The entire time he's been in jail.
Sources close to the family say the girls have been pleading for help, describing their dad as a man on the edge, physically, mentally, and emotionally, while his once untouchable empire crumbles piece by piece. Ever since his arrest in March 2024, after Homeland Security raided his homes in Los Angeles and Miami, Diddy's world has been collapsing. He was taken into custody at a Miami airport while trying to board his private jet, and by mid-April, a judge had denied him bail. His trial had been a spectacle, one filled with shocking testimonies, celebrity witnesses, and non-stop headlines. But while the world watches the courtroom drama unfold, what's happening inside New York's Metropolitan Detention Center might be even darker. Reports say Diddy suffered multiple assaults in prison and even had a nervous breakdown during the holidays.
The story we're tracking, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs on suicide watch at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center after 2 judges denied his request for bail.
It takes a certain individual to prepare himself to do a lot of years in jail. From the lifestyle that he had, I'm not saying that he can't. I just don't see him able to do time behind bars. Maybe if he be in a camp type situation, that's a possibility. But based on the lifestyle and what he's done and what he's accomplished, if he had to go behind those bars for a lot of years, I think that he may commit suicide. He'd do an Epstein.
Why do you think he didn't pull a Russell Simmons and leave the country?
They was watching him, bruh. They was watching him. And then I think that he had to turn over his passport. Even if you own your own private jet, they have a system up there whereas that they supposed to check your passport and anything that you need to fly as if you were flying commercial.
Insiders claim he begged guards to take him to a hospital after an emotional meltdown, but they refused. He eventually calmed himself through meditation, something he's apparently been practicing daily since arriving behind bars. Even so, sources say he's struggling to cope and has been placed on suicide watch more than once. At first, Diddy was kept in a protected unit, but now he's in general population, and that's where the fear really sets in. Inmates serving life sentences are said to be targeting him, hoping that attacking a celebrity could earn them respect or status inside. Some insiders believe he's in real danger every single day, and others say he's terrified of being transferred to a maximum security facility. Some people claim that inmates will be seeking retribution for him for crimes as old as Tupac and Biggie's murder.
So you feel like Pac fans will try to do something to him?
Pac and Biggie fans. He can have issues with both of them because a lot of people think, because of the statement that Keefe D made, that he did something to Pac. A lot of people know or think that because of Biggie leaving, they finding out that Biggie was leaving Bad Boy, that he may have had something to do with Biggie. People feel that way. You hear it all the time. You see it all the time on the chats and all that stuff.
Meanwhile, his daughters, especially the twins, are reportedly overwhelmed. They've asked family friends to step in, saying they're afraid their dad won't make it out alive. They've allegedly been trying to get messages to him through his legal team, but his lawyers are focused on the appeal that's now in motion. Those lawyers argue that the judge ignored the jury's findings during sentencing, claiming the verdict didn't prove coercion or racketeering. They insist everything Diddy was convicted of involved consenting adults and say they're confident the appeal will expose what they call a flawed judgment. But none of that changes his current reality, a 50-month federal sentence in one of the toughest prisons in the country.
But he's wondering now, hoping which facility he gets into. I don't think he'll get into a camp only because he's high profile. Even though his sentence qualifies him for a camp, it's a low security, sentence. But my feeling is he'll get into at least a medium because he's so high profile.
Is the camp the lowest security and therefore more paddle and tennis and all the other things and what they call like, Club Fed or Camp Cupcake?
Yeah, they moved me to a camp by accident at one point, and there's no fences or anything like that. And I wasn't there for too long because they realized they made a mistake and put me back in the medium security. But they tell you when you get there, listen, there's no fences. If you want to leave, you can leave. But when we catch you, we're going to add another 5 years onto your sentence. And while I was in that camp for 2 months, each month somebody ran away. I mean, they always try to do that. But yeah, he's thinking of that. Yeah, he's thinking of that. But, a medium security is not that bad.
So quickly, go back to that piece about he's high profile, so he won't get a camp. Why wouldn't he? I thought in a camp, nobody's going to shank him because, again, they want out.
Mm-hmm. The overriding factor there, I believe, is he's a guy with a lot of money. And I'll tell you, this happened to me when I went in there because of the profile I had, because of the way they wrote me up. I had everybody and their brother inmate trying to do a deal with me when I got out, a business deal. They need money. Because of the fact that he's a money guy, I think he's going to have more friends than he will enemies. And in a medium security, normally nobody's looking to shank you. When you get into the higher institutions, when people are doing, a ton of time and there's no way you can benefit them, then you got a little more problem.
And that's not the only storm brewing. Dozens of lawsuits are still piling up. Former associates, bodyguards, and alleged victims continue to come forward with disturbing stories, some reaching back to the late 90s. One man claims Diddy assaulted him and even filmed it, saying Jennifer Lopez knew about the footage but stayed silent. Another lawsuit accuses him of intimidation and violent threats against witnesses. Now, the danger for Diddy isn't just from other inmates who may be looking to dish out their own brand of justice on him. It's from people he considered friends once. It seems they all have reason to take him out.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, I think for appearance sake, they're afraid to do that. But I got two questions. One, Clive Davis, his name has been thrown around a lot now, and he's not speaking out. I know some people that know Clive, and I think he's got concerns. Now, he's a powerful guy, no question about it. But did you ever hear anything about him?
Puffy and Clyde, according to Puffy and everybody else, they've been lovers. Shit, Clyde know Ray J, Clyde know Puffy, Clyde know everybody. Clyde's that type of guy. And if you notice, somebody sent me a clip one time on my tablet, and somebody asked Clyde about Puffy. They called me, they asked him about it. He acted like he didn't know who the man was, like he never knew him. I mean, what did you hide, Clyde? Yeah. But at the end of the day, Clyde is one of the guys who got away. But old as Clyde is, he should be able to tell the truth. It ain't like he got a lot to live on Earth. I'm quite sure he's slowly coming to a painful end.
According to Wright, that real devil is Sean Carter, Jay-Z. She accused him of orchestrating a decades-long pattern of betrayal, saying he's lined up people who once helped him rise. From his old friend DeHaven to Dame Dash, even to Big L, whose death remains one of hip-hop's biggest mysteries.
I'm just waiting to see who's next. Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D-Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D-Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D-Haven.
We need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now, I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone.
She said Diddy is the acceptable monster of the moment, claiming that just like R. Kelly was the industry's fall guy years ago, Diddy is now playing the same role. In fact, there are rumors that the Jay-Z Diddy complex is already falling apart as they grow more toxic towards each other.
What was Puffy's relationship with Jay-Z? Because, there's that lawsuit from Tony Busby.
Okay.
Where the girl who claimed she was 15, she was raped by Puffy and Jay-Z.
Right.
And, at one point, number one, Jay-Z said this is nonsense.
Right.
The girl, a bunch of stuff she was saying just was impossible. She was saying how, the group Good Charlotte was there, and they're like, we weren't even at that event. We were touring in the Midwest. And her own father even said that this is nonsense. Like, I would have remembered these instances.
Yeah, that's
3
crazy.
hours away. I would remember a 6-hour drive.
Right.
Unless the father was paid in full. Maybe that's why he ain't remember.
But what was interesting was that Jay-Z's camp basically put out a statement saying that Jay and Puff are not friends and they're not close at all or whatever else. Did you see the two of them interact a lot?
I seen them interact, but I wouldn't say they was close. I believe Puff felt they was close. But if you was a person on the outside looking in, like me and Uncle Paulie used to always talk about it, me and D-Rock would talk about, yo, why Puff kind of like sucking Jay off so much?
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, watch out in there.
We done flew to 5 or 6, 7 different concerts that Jay-Z has. But Jay-Z is not at one of Puff's shows. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Rock brunch where Puff will break his neck to get to the brunch, but Jay-Z don't pop up at any of Puff parties. Now I can only speak up until 2012. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was breaking his neck. Like, at the end of the day, in our mind, we say, yo, he ain't even invite Puff to his wedding. When he married Beyonce, Steve Stout and all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was kind of in his feelings, but once again.
Oh, Puff was upset he didn't get invited to the wedding?
Of course he was.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, we're security, so we're bottom on a tote pole. So he's not going to show you that it really affects him until you have a little conversation with him, or you say something, or you overhear something. But he didn't get invited to that, Yeah, Jay came through every once in a while. Like if we was in a yacht in San Tropez or one of these places like that, Jay might ride up. You know what I'm saying? And it's more or less to show, yeah, I got a yacht too.
While Wright accused Jay-Z of being the puppet master, Gene focused on the evidence. In a recent interview, he said that after Cassie's lawsuit, it was only a matter of time before federal prosecutors moved in. And Diddy isn't the only one in trouble, Gene warned. He said that anyone appearing on those tapes could be pulled in, questioned, or pressured to testify. If you were on camera, he said, they'll make a deal with you. Immunity for your story.
So when this happened, when the raid went down, everybody thought Diddy was running. Everybody thought he was going to go to a country that doesn't extradite, and they were kind of comparing it to like Russell Simmons. How Russell Simmons went to a country too.
Right.
What'd you think?
Well, I think that he wasn't going to go They knew where he was at. They got your phones tapped. They're going to stop your flights or whatever. They knew exactly where he was at. I don't think that when they have a warrant, a search warrant for a residence, is not for a body. If they had one for a body, they would have brought it in. Now, if they would have went there and they found guns, drugs, and Diddy was there, they would have brought him in. You know what I'm saying? They would have brought him in. Like they brought his sons in. And then they want to know, well, why are these unlicensed guns in the house? Who drugs do these belong to? All those things like that. But a lot of people probably believe that you know, they just want to know, and the government want to know what things those people were doing on those tapes and who was doing shit on those tapes. Because I heard they found like 250 cameras or something like that.
That's what they say. They said they found a lot of cameras.
Right.
There's a lot of rumors about him recording some of these parties, and he's using a lot of this stuff for blackmail, like a lot of celebrities, even as far as politicians. You know, I think even Little Rod said that Diddy had every room taped and bugged.
Right. Well, in his affidavit or his deposition that he gave to the courts, he said every room was bugged, and that he did have tapes and information on a lot of different celebrities and people in the music business, people that were in politicians, and like I said, in other platforms, people that was in the ministry. Allegedly.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He says this wasn't speculation or rumor. Diddy himself admitted it years ago in legal depositions. The real danger, according to Deal, is what might now be in federal hands. Reports have circulated that investigators discovered up to 250 hidden cameras during raids on Diddy's homes in Los Angeles, Miami, and New York.
More clarity. So you believe they only got Puffy because they wanted these tapes. But what do you think is on these tapes?
Shit,
Bro.
blackmail stuff, baby.
You got to realize you got people like Prince Harry. Prince Harry was at a Diddy party.
Damn.
You got some of the same Universal executives. Diddy made it cool for, I'm just gonna say it like this, man, whites to hang out with the hood dudes. Dude from the hood, he made it cool and safe for them to hang out with the white executives.
What?
They used them for that.
I need that on this joint.
They used them enough, whereas that now you got white executives doing Diddy-like parties. Remember the dude from, what's that, Frantic? The clothing line, the sports line? They was mad because they didn't get invites to his party because he was doing white parties, doing parties like Diddy. Now I ain't talking about the freak off party part of it, but I'm just saying, he was doing those parties and everybody, there was rappers, or I think Stephen A. Smith said something about he was upset that he didn't get no invite.
What?
So those parties that everybody want to be at. So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody. You remember in this trial it came up. In this trial it came up. What came up in this trial?
90 terabytes of tape.
It came up that his assistant was right there. And Diddy told him, "You want to show your lawyer to me?" Gave him a condom and told him to sex the girl right there. He asked the girl, was she all right there? She said, yeah. That's crazy, bro. So now, you think certain politicians, you think certain actors,
Come on
actress,
now. Come on.
They drinking, smoking, we know they love pink. You know they got weed all in the air. They dropping ecstasy pills. They dropping some other kind of sexual pill. Man, do you think he ain't got nobody on tape, bruh?
Deal claims those tapes could involve not just rappers, but actors, executives, politicians, even preachers. There were people from every circle at those parties, he said. People who thought they were
Man, what happened to the girls? Talking about the daughters and the kids and stuff. You talking about these tapes.
untouchable. If the feds got
My
those
bad.
tapes, a lot of big names are shaking right now.
We know
That
that.
possibility, that one man might have been recording the most powerful figures in entertainment and politics, has turned this case into something much larger than Diddy himself.
They took computers,
Damn.
tapes. You think wasn't nothing on those tapes, y'all?
Blackmail.
You think they didn't log those tapes? Why did they hold up? Yo, I just caught a jewel.
Uh-oh.
They used the tape that Cassie sent them. That Cassie had. They used the tape that Cassie had that they showed to the jurors.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they didn't use the tape that they got from Diddy house?
I want to know that.
Because that would have them had to log that in. It would have been public record. And at one given time, when it's a public record out of this trial, you could go see it. You could go get those tapes, copies of those tapes, because it's public record. It would have been public record, bruh. It's a dirty game out here, man. It's a real dirty game. They are protecting somebody. Why did Damian Wim, the first prosecutor, he trying to put it off on Trump? Oh, Mr. Trump is coming in office, so I'm gonna leave before he get here. Right after he did the Diddy, right after he did the Diddy raid, right after they got the tapes and everything, he retired. Great job.
That's crazy.
Probably got $1 million house and all that somewhere. Because he definitely quit. And tried to put that shit off on Trump.
It's the same question many in the industry are asking behind closed doors. Because if those recordings contain underage individuals or illegal activity, federal law treats that as evidence of serious crimes. And even if some of the footage is just embarrassing rather than criminal, the potential for blackmail is massive. And that's where Jaguar Wright's narrative starts to overlap with Gene's. While Gene sees this as an investigation into crimes, Wright views it as a power struggle, one where Diddy's downfall might have been orchestrated from within.
Mike, not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. The reason why these type of people get caught up, they always been telling they bigger than the law because they part of the law. You know? And as you know, all these people get tired of their rap sooner or later. You know what I mean? And but at the same time, you know that. You can't, it's one thing, when I first got to sharing it, right? I come from a state where we don't fuck with the police, we don't talk to police, and they trying to talk to us, we cut them out. So I get to share it, and his black officer kept trying to speak to me. And I went to speak to him. He said, man, why you don't never speak to me? I said, man, I don't know who you deal with over here. We don't have no conversation with the mother police, you the police. So one day he said, man, I just want to say words to you, one black man to another. All right. He said, this night, they want you and they continue to want you. He said, the FBI, the government is so advanced, they can have planes that you can't see, but can read your license plate. They say most of the people you want to talk to, your guys, shit, probably wearing a wire. And I didn't say nothing then, I thought about it. And then as life went on, everything is cameras, everything is conversation. For a guy, a part of a certain world, and you never go to jail, and you never go to prison, it's impossible.
In your opinion or knowledge, how long was he an informant?
I think probably since the 90s.
Wow.
We had a conversation before, and And look at the things he was able to do. You were able to do all these things, nothing happened. His friend, one of his partners, they got convicted for selling drugs for the company. Nothing never happened to him.
The court documents show that Diddy's lawyers quickly requested that he serve his sentence at Fort Dix, a low-security federal facility in New Jersey known for its rehabilitation programs. On the surface, it's a reasonable request. Fort Dix offers the Bureau of Prisons Residential Drug Abuse Program, the same one the judge later recommended for Diddy, and it's close to New York, making it easier for his children to visit. But here's where things get interesting. The judge didn't name a specific facility, but did make sure to note that Diddy should be placed as close as possible to the New York metropolitan area. Some are now asking whether the court's reluctance to specify a facility is a quiet way of keeping Diddy out of maximum security environments, not necessarily for his protection, but to keep him within reach of certain interested parties. The theory floating around is that Diddy might be safer, or at least easier to monitor, in a lower security environment where federal oversight is lighter and movement is less restricted. It is reported that he's trying to achieve this by using some very heavy emotional appeal.
Chloe, we heard from Sean Diddy Combs in his own words in a letter, a powerful letter that he wrote to the judge, but today he was tearful, emotional, addressing the judge, addressing his family. Tell us what he said.
Laura, that's right. So he spoke briefly to the judge, and I'm just going to look at my notes. He said that he was sobbing, and he said that he has lost respect for himself. He lost the respect of his family. He lost his businesses, and he said multiple times, I am begging for your mercy. He called his actions shameful and sick. He said he wants to be a father again, and he told the judge that if you give me this opportunity, I will never lay my hands on anybody else ever again. I will do right by my family, and I will do right by the community. This is not about making money. I want to be a functioning member of society. He talked about being sober for the first time in years. The judge also just saying moments ago, because the judge is speaking right now and addressing Combs and the entire courtroom, and he said that I do take into account the fact that you have inspired many people. He talks about the fact that he says, I know that you are a self-made artist that have inspired and lifted up communities worldwide, and the impact in entrepreneurship that you've had is iconic. And he talks about the murder of Sean Combs' father. That's something that Combs, as his legal team, brought up multiple times, that he had a very rough upbringing. And it all began when his father was murdered when he was very young, this rough upbringing, which later led to PTSD. But Combs just breaking down, crying also when 6 of his 7 children spoke today, Laura, in court. They cried, begging for their father to come home, the judge thanking them for their courage. And again, his 84-year-old mother also sitting in the courtroom today. She was there nearly every single day of his 2-month criminal trial over the summer. And Combs, we know that he had sent, Laura, that 3.5-page letter to the judge via his attorneys last night. And we weren't sure if he was going to end up speaking today, because as the day went on, he was not giving his allocution. But then it was the very last moment before the judge spoke.
Either way, the optics are unusual. A federal judge publicly recommending leniency in facility placement for someone still tied to so many ongoing investigations isn't common. Do you think he deserves it? Let us know in the comments below.
No, I don't think he deserves it. I think he needs to be punished. I think if you do bad, you went to court, due process, you was found guilty on 2 counts. The judge laid the hammer, which was real easy. So, long story short, I think you just need to sit down and do your time, bro. You running out of money, allegedly. You still trying to get out and let the world know that you ain't even repenting yet. Is that what you call it? Man, this wasn't even about the girls. I thought this was about the girls. I'm trying to see. That's what you need to do, Diddy. You need to get them kids working, man. They know social media. They know how to do everything. Everybody talk all this trash, but they don't know how to turn it into money. Social media, man. And I ain't saying that it's easy. It'll be easy for them. It's 5 of them. Plus the little baby makes 6. Man, I'll call y'all back, man. Look here. I'm going to get on up out of here. Hey, y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.